Rachel Sheehan is with us to update us on the latest situation with regards to the skorts controversy. So we know there's going to be a special congress on Thursday the 22nd. The president of the Camogie Association has said that packs will be sent out to everybody so that we can get to a situation where people are making informed decisions. What's the latest on this, Rachel?
Yeah, so the Camogie Association, they haven't sent out packs essentially, but they've asked all the counties to talk to their players and ask them their opinions on the motion on whether they should have the option to wear shorts or skorts, whether that's through surveys, polls or meetings. So Dublin Camogie have launched a survey. They got 5,225 responses and 98% of people wanted the choice to wear shorts. So they had their meeting last night. We already know that's what Dublin are going to be voting on the 22nd, which is great. But at the same time, Dublin voted yes at last year's Congress as well. So it's really up to the other counties. There'd be a lot more weight behind them. The likes of Cork, who voted no at last year's Congress. The Cork County Board have been in touch. They've asked all the clubs to contact their players and discuss the motion with them. Cork County Board have a meeting now next Tuesday where all the clubs will be voting, and the result of that then will determine how Cork are going to vote. And that vote has a lot of weight as well because Cork has more clubs than a lot of counties. They get more votes at the Congress.
I think they get six votes at Congress because of the number of clubs they have.
So this didn't happen first time around?
Not as officially.
No.
You know, the communication hasn't been official. All the clubs have been contacted by the county boards this time around, and the discussions are happening. Yeah.
What do you think the difference will be in the Special Congress versus when it was defeated earlier, besides more attention?
I think everyone knows exactly what's happening this time around. By the looks of Shauna Cronin's tweets, who represented London at the last Congress, and she kind of went through it in detail, a lot of people didn't seem to be aware exactly of what was happening the last time around, where there's not a person in the country, I think, at this stage that doesn't know the motion nearly word for word.
What's your gut feeling for Thursday week?
That it'll change, you know.
A landslide for change, right? I mean, there can't be anything other than a landslide for change because it would be too damaging. And everybody knows that now. There's no... You can't blunder your way into this and go, oh, we didn't know it was such a big deal. Oh, sorry. Everybody knows.
The problem with Thursday week is that there's another weekend of games to be played. So what do you think is going to happen this weekend? There's a Leinster doubleheader, is there?
Leinster doubleheader in Carlow, yeah. So you've got Laois and Carlow in the intermediate and Wexford and Kilkenny in the senior.
And at the moment they're going ahead, those games?
Yes. Yeah, we're waiting for...
The way you say it, we don't know.
We don't know.
It's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Waiting for word from Leinster Camogie to see whether they definitely are going ahead. There's been calls again, like there was last week, for the association to derogate from the rule and just allow the games to go ahead with the players wearing their shorts. But there hasn't been any official communication yet. And if the match doesn't go through, Kilkenny are out the week after. Like, there's no postponing this for another week. So if this match doesn't go ahead, it's likely that it could be set to be played after the All-Ireland series, but who wants to play then?
Yeah,
you know?
like a totally meaningless, a complete waste. It's funny how the Munster Council didn't understand that what they were doing was ruining their own stuff last week. So for anybody who missed it, 8 o'clock on Friday evening, the Munster Council were like, oh, you're not playing tomorrow because you said you were going to play in shorts for your own good. We know what's good for you. It was essentially the tone of the statement issued through a public relations company as opposed to issuing it themselves. And since then, Brian Malloy was on This Week on RTE Radio, and he said he'd had a lot of contact over the week from, it says here, girls, from women who want to keep wearing the skort. But that's not the issue. If anybody wants to keep wearing the skort, go ahead. It's a free country. Do what you want.
Yeah, and that's the important thing about the motion.
Yeah.
It's giving the choice. Whereas the last Congress, there was two motions and one was to completely get rid of the skort. So I think people might have just been a bit afraid at the whole thought of change at last year's Congress, whereas this is, everyone knows it now. It's the choice to wear either or.
Take us back to Friday night, because we haven't spoken to you on air since. That was nothing short of a complete shock, was it? Because in your mind, I think you were going to report for the game for us and all. It was like, in your mind, this is going ahead.
Completely, yeah.
And what they've done is just highlighted it in a worse capacity. And now for the next week and a bit, it's all we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I was actually playing a match at home when the news broke out and we finished up the match about 9 o'clock and people were telling us that the match wasn't going ahead, we couldn't believe it. You know, the girls, even the players themselves, were only told about 8 o'clock the night before a match that it wasn't going ahead.
Right.
Even though we're given to understand that the decision was made much earlier in the day, it wasn't communicated until much later in the evening. Now, there is some dispute about that, but maybe we could have done it a bit faster the day before, bury the news on the Friday evening of a bank holiday weekend. So we'll see exactly what the situation is with regards to that board, the Munster board, and I think the wider board now is contaminated by this whole thing. Brian Malloy says he's shown the leadership. He says he thinks he's shown the leadership that is necessary. I'm not convinced about that. We'll see. There's a standing invite to everybody from any of the boards around the country to come on and talk to us about what the hell they're thinking and why they think it's okay to order people what to wear in this day and age. Obviously, one of the issues with the Munster game was that the Munster Council were like, well, you told us in advance what you were going to do, so we couldn't let you do it. Which is why there hasn't been a statement so far from the Leinster counties. And we understand the pressure is being put on the Leinster counties to make sure that protest all you want, but you're not playing the game unless you go and get changed. So, how would you handle this situation if you were in one of those dressing rooms this week?
I'd have to go, we're wearing the shorts. You know, you have to continue on.
And would you tell everybody in advance, or would you say, oh yeah, no problems, oh yeah, we win skorts, yeah, absolutely, yeah, we were told. And then just show up and go, what are you going to do about it? Cancel the game?
Yeah, play them at their own game, I think, at this stage.
Well, that's what Dublin Kilkenny did, wasn't it? They just showed up in the shorts.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happened.
But then they went off and changed.
Went off and changed. And so that's the difference this time around.
Yeah.
So then the unofficial game's going to happen in Leinster with shorts, or unofficially before it's passed in Congress, we hope, on Thursday week. This will be a pre-season of choice of skorts and shorts.
And obviously it's the end of the world. The Dublin club matches all took place and the world ended. This is now a simulation. We're just a figment of Elon Musk's imagination. This show is not real. That's what happens when people are allowed to choose what they want. All right, Rachel, good stuff. Thanks a million.
Thank you very much.